You will not believe what I pulled off. Seriously, like, you think you know me, right? But this? This was next level. I'm still buzzing from it, even at 2 a.m. My name's Chloe, and I'm 24. And yeah, I got a girl expelled from college. And the best part? She still has no idea it was me. It's almost too good to be true. So, okay, rewind. This all went down, like, a year ago, when I was still in college. And yeah, I know, it sounds kinda extreme, but you just had to know this girl, Madison. Ugh. Just saying her name makes me wanna roll my eyes. Madison was, like, the perfect girl. You know the type, right? Straight A student, always volunteering for everything, had a scholarship, super involved in campus life, everyone loved her. She was, like, sunshine and rainbows. And me? I was, me. I was getting by, doing enough to pass, mostly focused on my social life and, like, getting Dylan to pay attention to me. Dylan was, like, the whole point of my college experience, honestly. He was cute, he was kinda quiet, and he played soccer. Plus, his parents were loaded, so he always had good stuff, and he wasn't afraid to spend money. Dylan and I had been, like, on again, off again for, like, a year. Mostly off, because I was playing hard to get, you know? Like, I'd be super sweet to him, then I'd ignore his texts for a day, just to keep him on his toes. And it worked. He was always chasing me. And I was loving it. He'd pay for my textbooks, sometimes even my rent if I, like, really needed it. He was, like, my own personal ATM and puppy. It was great. But then Madison started showing up everywhere Dylan was. Like, literally everywhere. She was in his study group, which, okay, fine. But then she started showing up at his soccer games. And then she was, like, in the same coffee shop as us, randomly. And she'd smile at him, all sweet and innocent, like she wasn't totally trying to steal him. And he, like, started actually noticing her. I could tell. He'd mention her, like, Madison helped me with that math problem today, she's so smart. And I'd be like, ugh, who cares, Dylan? But in my head, I'd be like, that little witch. She's trying to move in on my territory. I started doing my usual thing, you know? The passive-aggressive comments. Like, oh, Madison's so nice, almost too nice, don't you think? Or, when Dylan would mention her, I'd say, it's sweet you're, like, helping her out so much. She seems like she needs it. Just little digs, disguised as jokes. He never really got it, bless his heart. He's a bit of a burned-out guy, honestly. Used to try really hard, but now he just seems exhausted by everything. And that was fine by me. Less effort from him, more effort from me, that's how it worked. But Madison just kept getting closer. And Dylan started, like, putting her in his Instagram stories. Not, like, couple Y1s, but still. She was there. In his life. And I was, like, spiraling. My whole thing with Dylan was about him always chasing me. If he found someone else, someone he thought was better, what would I do? My public persona was all like, oh, me and Dylan are just, like, friends, but privately, I was obsessed. I'd post pictures of us doing cute stuff, just to make sure everyone knew he was mine. He was my validation. One night, Dylan and I were at, like, a party. And Madison showed up. Of course. She was, like, wearing this super cute dress, and everyone was complimenting her. And Dylan was, like, talking to her, laughing at her jokes. And I just, like, felt this surge of pure jealousy. Between us, I wanted to scream. I went over and, like, draped myself over Dylan, all, babe, I'm so bored. Let's go dance. And he was, like, a little annoyed, but he came with me. But then I saw Madison looking over, and she just, like, smiled this sweet little smile, and I wanted to punch her. That bitch. I realized then that I needed to do something. Something big. Something that would, like, make her disappear. Permanently. I couldn't just, like, tell her to back off. That would make me look bad. And I couldn't, like, make Dylan choose, because what if he didn't choose me? No, I needed to take her out of the equation entirely. I started, like, brainstorming. How do you get someone expelled from college without getting caught? It needed to be something serious. Something that would make the college administration, like, really crack down. And then it hit me. Nudes. Fake nudes. I spent, like, days thinking about it. I went through all of Madison's social media. She had, like, a million pictures. Smiling, laughing, being all innocent. I found a few that were, like, good angles. Ones where she was, like, wearing a tank top or something, so I could, like, kinda imagine what her body looked like. And then I started researching. How do you make fake nudes? I mean, I'm not, like, a computer whiz or anything. But there's, like, apps for everything these days. I found this one app that was, like, kinda sketchy, but it looked like it could do what I needed. It took me, like, forever to figure out how to use it. I had to, like, find some other pictures online, of bodies, you know? And then try to, like, morph Madison's head onto them. It was gross, honestly. And really hard. I kept getting frustrated, almost gave up a few times. But then I'd see Dylan's phone light up with a text from Madison, and I'd get all, like, fired up again. She has to go. Finally, after, like, hours and hours, I got a few that looked believable enough. Not perfect, but, like, enough to cause trouble. I created a fake email address, something super generic, like concernedstudent@email.com. And I wrote this, like, really dramatic email. I said I was, like, so disturbed by these pictures that were, like, circulating around campus, and how it was, like, a total violation of the school's code of conduct. And how, as a concerned student, I felt it was my duty to report it. I attached the fake pictures. And I sent it to the dean of students. My heart was, like, pounding when I hit send. Like, really, truly pounding. I felt a rush, like I'd just, like, pulled off a bank heist or something. But then, I also felt, like, a little sick. What if I get caught? What if this totally backfires? But then I remembered Madison's smug little smile, and I was like, no. This is what she deserves. For the next few days, I was, like, on edge. Every time my phone buzzed, I thought it was gonna be, like, the school calling me. I tried to act normal around Dylan, but I was, like, jumping at every sound. He kept asking me what was wrong, and I just used my go-to. Oh, nothing, babe. Just, like, stressed about exams. And he'd be like, you're being dramatic, it's not that serious. Ugh. He was so clueless. Then, about a week later, it happened. I was walking out of my history class, and I saw Madison. She was, like, standing outside the dean's office. And her face was totally red. Like, she'd been crying. And her mom was there, looking all upset, too. And the dean was, like, talking to them, looking really serious. I just, like, walked past them, pretending not to notice anything, but I was, like, internally screaming with glee. It worked. It actually worked. Later that day, the campus gossip was, like, flying around. Everyone was talking about Madison. Did you hear about Madison? She got expelled. No way. What happened? Something about, like, inappropriate pictures being sent around. And everyone was, like, shocked. No one could believe it. Because Madison was, like, the golden girl, you know? And I just, like, nodded along, acting all innocent. Oh my God, that's so terrible. I can't believe it. But inside, I was, like, doing a victory dance. She still doesn't know it was me. I even went over to Dylan, did you hear about Madison? I feel so bad for her. And he was, like, genuinely sad. He said, "Yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe she would do something like that." And I just, like, let him talk. He was, like, bummed about it for a few days, but then, he moved on. And suddenly, I was, like, his main focus again. Because Madison was gone. Poof. Just like that. Things with Dylan, they got, like, really good after that. He was, like, super attentive. Always checking in on me, paying for everything, taking me on dates. It was exactly what I wanted. He even started talking about us, like, moving in together after graduation. He was, like, the too nice guy, totally over-accommodating. He'd say things like, "Whatever you want, Chloe." And I loved it. I really did. He was, like, my perfect little puppet. I had him wrapped around my finger. But, things can only stay perfect for so long. Even when you're, like, totally in control. Dylan, he started, like, getting into this new hobby. Like, rock climbing. And he was, like, always talking about it. And always, like, going with his new climbing buddies. And I was, like, ugh. Seriously? It didn't include me, so I hated it. I'd make little comments, like, "Are you sure that's safe? You're not as young as you used to be, babe." Just to, like, discourage him. But he didn't stop. He was, like, genuinely enjoying it. And it was, like, taking time away from me. And he started, like, talking about therapy again. He'd been to therapy before, like, when he was in high school, for, like, anxiety or something. And now he was like, "I just feel like I need to get back into it. Just to, like, work on myself." And I was, like, "Work on yourself? What's wrong with you?" I'd usually, like, use my weaponized vulnerability here, like, "Oh, so I'm the problem, then? After everything I've been through?" But he wasn't falling for it anymore. He'd just say, "It's not about you, Chloe. It's about me." And he'd go. He was, like, becoming Mr. Growth Mindset. It was so annoying. And then, one day, I was, like, scrolling through Facebook, and I saw a post. It was, like, from someone I barely knew, someone from high school. And it was, like, a news article. About Madison. And, like, my heart stopped. The article was, like, about her getting a full scholarship to, like, an even better university than ours. And it mentioned how she had, like, transferred after, like, a difficult and unjust expulsion from her previous school. And how she had, like, persevered and overcome adversity. And there was a picture of her, like, smiling, shaking hands with some, like, super important looking professor. And she looked radiant. Like, truly happy. Like, she had, like, truly gotten over it. And it was, like, a huge scholarship, too. Like, way more than she would have gotten at our school. My jaw dropped. No way. She didn't just, like, recover from it. She, like, thrived. And I was, like, stuck. Stuck with Dylan, who was suddenly, like, getting annoying. Stuck in my tiny apartment, still struggling with money, even with Dylan helping. And then the comments started. People were, like, praising her, talking about how strong she was, how inspiring. And then, there were, like, some comments speculating about what actually happened. Like, I heard it was all a setup. Someone told me she was framed. And my stomach just, like, dropped. No. They can't know. Nobody can know. I got so paranoid after that. Every text, every glance from Dylan, I thought he knew. I started getting really hot and cold with him. One minute, I'd be, like, all over him, super sweet. The next, I'd be, like, totally distant, annoyed by everything he did. I'd invalidate his feelings all the time. "You're being dramatic, it's not that serious." Because I was, like, terrified that he would see through me. Then, about 2 months ago, he started being, like, really quiet. Like, even more than usual. And he stopped asking me to hang out. And when I'd ask him what was wrong, he'd just say, nothing. But it was, like, a cold nothing. And I'd get all, like, annoyed. Just tell me what's going on, Dylan. Are you, like, mad at me? Did I do something wrong? I was trying to, like, gaslight him, make him feel like he was the one being weird. But he wouldn't budge. And then, like, 2 weeks ago, I got a text from him. Not a call. A text. And it just said, we need to talk. And my stomach just, like, coiled. I knew. I knew this was it. He came over to my apartment later that day. And he just sat down on the couch, not even looking at me. Chloe, he said, his voice really quiet. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. My heart, like, leaped into my throat. Done? What are you talking about? Done with what? I was still trying to play dumb. He looked at me then, and his eyes were, like, so sad. But also, like, really clear. I know about Madison, Chloe. My whole body, like, went cold. No. How? How did he know? I'd been doing some digging, he said. After I saw that article about her new scholarship. I was, like, wondering why she just, like, disappeared. And then, I talked to a few people. And someone mentioned, like, hearing rumors. About fake pictures. And then I started thinking about you. And how you were, like, always so jealous of her. And how you were, like, so happy when she left. He kept talking, and I felt like I was, like, drowning. He said he found the IP address from the email that sent the pictures. And he, like, tracked it. And it led to the campus library. And he remembered that I was, like, spending a lot of time in the library around that time. And he talked about how I always had to be the one on top, the one in control. How I would, like, use his insecurities against him. How I'd gaslight him into thinking he was crazy. How I used him for money. He literally, like, laid out everything. All my toxic behaviors. He was, like, seeing everything clearly. It was terrifying. I can't be with someone who would do something like that, Chloe, he said, his voice getting stronger. And I can't be with someone who uses people. Someone who always blames everyone else. You're a terrible person, Chloe. And I can't pretend anymore. And then he got up. He didn't, like, pack a suitcase or anything. He just stood up, like he was done. I'm moving out. I'm done paying for your rent, Chloe. I'm done paying for your stuff. I'm done. Don't contact me again. And then he just, like, walked out. He didn't even look back. My perfect Dylan. My provider. Gone. Just like that. And I was left alone in my tiny apartment, with no money for rent next month, and no one to, like, bail me out. And then, just yesterday, the mail came. And it was a letter from the college. Not an email. A real letter. And it was, like, from the dean's office. And it said they had, like, reopened Madison's case. And that new evidence had come to light. And that they had, like, investigated further. And that they had, like, discovered the source of the fake pictures. And that, based on new information, they were, like, revoking my degree. And, like, formally expelling me. Effective immediately. For academic dishonesty and gross misconduct. They said they found digital footprints. They found out about the app one used. They found out about everything. And they were, like, going to notify every other college I applied to, that my degree was revoked. Blacklisting me. So, here I am. No college degree. No job, because, like, what kind of job can I get now? No Dylan. No money. And Madison? She's, like, thriving at her new fancy university, probably getting ready to graduate with honors. And she still has no idea it was me. But she's, like, better off now than she ever would have been. And I'm, this. All alone. It's just not fair. It's all their fault. Everyone always blames me. But I don't care anymore. I really don't.